Welcome to another episode. I am Brian, the Unskilled Commander. Welcome to a brand new matchup, too. We've got 4 brand new decks. Well, not brand new. This one is actually brand new. The rest I've had for varying degrees of time. But it's a new matchup of decks you haven't seen yet. So I'm not sure how this one's going to perform. This is actually a pre-con that I've just made, that seemed interesting. It's Captain Nergathrod. I know how to say that. It's basically Davy Jones from the Pirates of the Caribbean's movie. It's a horrors deck because that's a little difficult to say, and when you say it quickly, you're going to think the wrong thing. So I'm just going to say it's the scary deck, and it does have a mill theme, and I already have a core blue mill deck. So we're going to see if this is worth keeping as a new deck. But I just wanted to try it and see what it was, because you don't normally use the horrors as creatures very often, so I wanted to give it a try. Like I said, I made probably 20 cards, changed out. This is the first time playing it, so we'll see what it does. We got Mazerik over here, we've got Shrines, and then we've got Hydras. I've already rolled the dice, and Shrines is going to go first. So let's jump right in and see what happens. Draw a card. I'm going to start out with an Evolving Wilds onto the battlefield, of course, over there, but whatever. I'm then going to crack it for a swamp. Quickly, there we go, swamp, boom. And again, I know that, if you really want to do it perfectly, you do this on that player's end step. So it goes to, your turn 2 and it's automatic. It's what's the difference? I don't have a 1-drop. It's not hurting anything. I like to do it now. So we go ahead and pass. Over to Hydras. Zaxxarel the Exemplary. I will play a Tanglepool Bridge. Comes in tapped, but it is indestructible. I like playing those tap lands early, as I've said in other videos, because it's, again, if you don't have a 1-drop, it's a perfect time to play them so that you have access to both colors as soon as possible. We're going to pass over here and go to our new deck. What do we have with the new deck? We will play Path of Ancestry. Comes in tapped and taps for 1 mana of any color in your commander's identity. And if you use it to cast a creature that shares a type with it, you get to scry 1. So pass turn. And the hated Mazerik, because she makes people sacrifice creatures. We're going to go with Evolving Wilds for Mazerik. And then sack that for, I think we're going to go with a swamp as well over here. Swamp comes in tapped. Shuffle library. And move on. Ah, look at that. Lame. Trying to go too fast. But all right, that's all we can do. Again, it comes in tapped and we have no 1-drop. Pass turn. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Going to play a Plains for turn. And unfortunately, I do not have any 2-drops in this deck, in this hand, rather. So we're going to go ahead and pass turn. Untap for the Hydra deck. We're going to play an island for turn. I'm going to tap it for Ballast Collar. Actually, sorry, I'm going to play the card I just drew. We're going to tap that's for Traveler's Amulet, then tap it to sacrifice Traveler's Amulet to put a basic land card into my hand. Now, unfortunately, it's not exactly ramp because it doesn't go onto the battlefield, but it's some deck thinning, and it also makes sure that we have plays or lands for the next couple turns, in addition to whatever we may have in the hand. So I like to crack that early as well, but you do have to be careful. You don't want to crack it too early because you have to make sure you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. So you're not going above and discarding down on turn 2 for absolutely no reason. Go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Oops, shoot. Picked up. I don't like these things. Terramorphic Expanse. All the hands had some cracklands in them, which is not bad, though. We will based on what I have in my hand. I guess we'll go ahead and get a island, just to change it up a little bit. Come on, island, there's one. These weird, not weird, but they don't seem like normal lands because they seem like they have more text. Oops, do not shuffle away the hand, that would be very bad. So we shuffle. And I do not have any two, well, this goes away first of all. And that's there, no 1-drops, so we're good to continue on. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Wow, that's kind of funny. I'll play a Rogue's Passage, tap 2 for an Arcane Signet. I drew a Terramorphic Expanse, but I'm not going to play it this time. I'll wait a turn. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play a Forest for turn, tapping all 3 for Bonder's Ornament. Okay, I got some lands in my hand, so we're set up to hopefully play some shrines soon. I really like this shrine deck, and what's funny with it, although in the non-humorous sense, is that every time I play against myself, it does really well and gets lots of shrines out and goes crazy. When I play it against actual real friends, it just peters out and doesn't do anything, and it's very upsetting. But we're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play a Forest, so we got a nice balance to our mana pool. Now I will tap and play the Ballast Collar just because. All right, and we will be, I do have one more land in my hand, so we're poised to start playing Zaxara next turn, which is nice. Pass right now. Passing right now. Untap, upkeep, draw. Just 1 card, thank you. We'll play a Swamp for turn. Do I have any good 3-drops? Regrettably, I do not. But you know what? We can play this, and this is a really good time because no one's got any creatures yet. Tapping for 2 blue and 1 other to play Court of Cunning. This is an enchantment, so when it comes in the battlefield, I become the monarch. And at the beginning of my upkeep, any number of target players each mill 2 cards. If I'm the monarch, those players mill 10 cards instead. So unless somebody's got haste, that's going to be a 10-card mill right off the bat. That's pretty nice early on. Move to my end step. I'm the monarch, so I draw an additional card. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We do not have to discard down and pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Let's see. I've got 3 mana, possibly 4 to do something. I think we're gonna start out by tapping a black and 1 other for Piper of the Swarm. Rats you control have menace. I can pay 2 and tap them to create a rat. And then pay 4 and tap it to sacrifice 3 rats, gain control of target creature. I think since I did that, I will take, yes, I have a 2-drop, but there's no graveyards to really deal with right now. So we're going to go ahead and do the Terramorphic Expanse and crack that for a Forest. Put it on the battlefield tapped. Come on, hurry it up. There's one. So this is good, shuffling the deck, trying to thin it out a little bit, get some card draw going. Well, not card draw, but just thin out the deck and get it closer to better spells. All right, nobody has haste. I don't have 1-drop, so we're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play an additional Forest for turn, tapping all 4 to play my commander. Go Shintai of Life's Origin. Whenever it enters the battlefield, well, bam, we make a shrine token. I know, I have a shrine token. I also have 1 shrine token. I'm not paying that much money for a bunch of tokens. I just wanted to have at least 1. So what's great about him, because this is a shrine enchantment deck, you can play 1 of each color and tap Go Shintai to return target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield. So if someone blows up a really good enchantment, you still have access to it as long as you have your commander out. Whenever Go Shintai or another non-token shrine enters the battlefield, which it just did, you create a 1/1 colorless shrine enchantment creature. But that is all I can do, I believe. So we're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I will play another forest for turn. That's 4 mana. As we said, we're going to tap all. Oh, I cannot, can I? I do not have a swamp, which is unfortunate. So what can I do then? I can set it up for next turn. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 and play Beneath the Sands. Search your library for basic land card. Put on the battlefield, tap, shuffle library. So we are going to get a swamp. Go ahead and shuffle up. Easy, don't go all over the place. And that is all we can do over here. I have quite a few X spells in my hand, which is based off the commander, but unfortunately, 1, there's no point in playing them until we get the commander out, and 2, they might not even really help anyway. And they wouldn't be that big of an X to begin with, so pass. Untap, upkeep. Upkeep trigger. In fact, I put this here, remember? Yeah, this is going to be big. Everybody, well, target up to any number of target players, so 1, 2, 3, all discard or mill 10 cards because I'm still the monarch. No one's hit me yet, so this could be bad right off the bat. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Ooh, Jared, that's a good card for that deck, which is bad in the graveyard. 1, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Over here, we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. All right, that was a solid mill. So somebody better get in there and start hitting. So now I draw a card for turn. I have 3 mana to do what? Not really much of anything. All right, so sorry, I actually have to kind of read these cards a little bit. Well, I need to get in the habit of reading all my cards anyway because I'm always missing steps, as you guys well know. If you're watching at this point, you've seen the other episodes. But because this is such a new deck and I've never played horrors before, I mean scary before, you need to kind of read these. No, that's not great right now. Man, not really great right now. Also, can I even do that? Here we go. We'll do this. I'm going to play an island for turn, tapping all 4, one of which being black, to play Infectious Scary. 2/2, when Infectious Scary attacks, each opponent loses 2 life. So that's good. So not only we're milling, but we're going to do some damage as well. And we have a blocker, so it's going to be harder to get rid of Monarch. Although, of course, Shrines will be able to do it. Pass turn. Untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play a swamp for turn. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana. Might as well go for broke, right? Tap all 5 for Mazerik. Crawl Death Priest. Mazerik is 2/2 with flying, which is nice, although it's a small power and toughness. However, whenever a player, any player, sacrifices another permanent of any kind, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control. That's important. It kind of, when I first started to build this deck, I was like, oh, this is so hard. I gotta find cards that make other people sacrifice stuff. But then I was like, oh, wait. Although I kind of wasted them, now that I think about it. Terramorphic, Expanse, and Evolving Wilds, that's kind of why they're in the deck specifically, because you sacrifice those, that counts. Now I did, and unfortunately everybody else did a friggin' Terramorphic or Evolving, so that would have been really great for later on, but it's fine. I haven't played this deck in quite a long time, and I kind of forgot how I should have sat on this for a bit. But anyway, that's all we can do. I can attack, but it's a 2/2, and it's a 1/3. It's not going to get through. Nothing's going to happen. There's no point. And we're going to everyone's going to rely on Shrines to do it. So we're going to pass. untap, upkeep, draw. Going to play a mountain for turn. So I could theoretically pay to, in fact, I could do that, huh? Let's go see what's in my graveyard from the mill. That actually could end up helping helping us in the long run. Ooh, that's a good one too. Oh, that's a really good one, I think. So let's try that then. We're gonna tap for blue, green, black, white, and red. So yeah, going up against a mill deck is actually pretty good. We're gonna play, remove it from the graveyard to the battlefield, Sigil of the Empty Throne. Whenever you cast an enchantment spell, put a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Now I'm starting to wonder, maybe I shouldn't attack, which is going to tick off both of these players, but it's like, I can just start bringing back everything from my graveyard. Now I can only, well, this has to tap. So right there, by doing that, I can't get through, so I kind of don't have to not attack. But that could be a solid strategy. I mean, it would take too long to get all, like, I would mill way more than I could get back. So you don't want to just do it forever, but letting it go one more time, it might not be a big deal. For this character, at least. I only have 1 mana left, so we're going to go ahead and pass turn. That's really interesting. I hadn't thought of that before for that deck. So now we're going to untap, upkeep, draw. Now I will play 1, 2, 3, and 4 to play Zakara, a 2/3 Death Touch Hydra that says tap and add 2 mana of any one color, which is great. Of course, it has summoning sickness, so I can't do that right now. But whenever you cast a spell with X in its mana cost, create a 0/0 green Hydra creature token, then put X +1/+1 counters on it. So as you can imagine, this deck has tons of X spells that I can play for varying levels of mana, whether I only have a couple or if I can dump like 7 mana into it, and I can start making giant or even just blockable Hydras, or blocking Hydras. I do not have enough to equip, and he already has Death Touch anyway, so we're going to go ahead and pass. Which means, you know, because Shrines wanted to play games, I am still the Monarch over here, so we're going to untap, upkeep step. Everyone's got to mill another 10. Let's make it easier. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So yeah, this is already shaping up impressive. Now, in a normal game, I can guarantee you someone have already blown up that enchantment. No questions asked. So we now draw a card for turn. That's decent enough. We still have 4. I think we're going to go ahead and play an island, tapping all 5 to bring out my commander. So now, scaries you control have menace, which means they can only be blocked by 2 or more creatures. Whenever a scary you control deals combat damage to a player, that player mills that many cards. And at the beginning of your end step, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from their library this turn and put it on the battlefield under your control. That seems real broken. Like, super broken. Because first of all, everyone just milled 10 cards each this turn, so I don't even have to attack. And I'll still get the beginning of my end step trigger. I could swing with this Infectious Horror, and whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 2 life, and whoever takes the damage would mill some more. Now, we've already made it clear we do not want to go after him right now. That can double block, since all the scaries have menace, so it leaves Zakara. Or Zaxara. I call it Zakara. I don't know why. I mispronounced it the first couple times and it just stuck. So we're going to go 2. You can't block, so you are taking 2 down to 38. But before that even happens, when it attacks, each opponent loses 2 life. So technically, you are now at 36. And, ooh. Well, that's unfortunate. Looks like I forgot a step and didn't give these guys life counters. So we are at 38 there and 38 there. All right. Moving to my end step, I'm still the Monarch. I'm going to draw a card. I may have missed that on my end step last turn. And then pass. So this is bad for everybody. Draw a card. Play a forest. Do I have something? Okay. So let's go with 1, 2, 3 for Faraka's Libation. Choose one. A target opponent sacrifices a creature or target opponent sacrifices an enchantment. Haha! Boom. You are sacrificing an enchantment, my friend. No smash. Alright. And then, I guess we'll go with these just in case. Someone sacrificed something, so these get 1+1/+1 counters. I will then tap another 3 to play Letter of Acceptance. It taps for 1 mana of any color, and I can play 2 and sack it to draw a card if I get to that point. Alright, so we now have a 2/4 and a 3/3 flyer. Now, Captain Davy Jones over here is a 3/6, but he is not flying. So I will send Mazerik over at him for 3 commander damage in the air. Down to 37. And 3 commander damage. That's all we can do here. Pass turn. Now, let's untap, upkeep, draw. Nice. And then let's, we'll play the forest, so we have a little bit extra mana to play with, first of all. So that's good. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 mana. That's excellent. Now let's see what we went ahead and milled, and what kind of horribleness can we do. Nice, okay. Now, what I'm thinking partially, too, is like you kind of want to do high-cost enchantments at this point, because why not, right? So I'm going to... Oh, can I, though? Because I have something I do want to play. So I might not be able to do that. So we should probably... And we can actually get a few more triggers off of this. So let's do it this way. We're going to tap a white to play Authority of the Consuls. Creatures your opponent's control enter tapped, and whenever a creature enters the battlefield under the opponent's control, I gain a life. I cast an enchantment spell, so that makes a 4/4 white angel creature token with flying onto the battlefield. Insane. Like I said, of course, Shrines is going off really nice against myself and not against people that I'm actually playing against. So let's go ahead and then tap 1, 2, 3 to play Enchantment Aura, New Horizons onto that forest. New Horizons enter the battlefield, put a +1/+1 counter on target creature you control. Sure. I'll put that on the flyer, why not? Although granted it does have summoning sickness, so it can't swing right now. But I played an enchantment rather, so that means I get another angel. Now this only really affects other people. So let's see what we got. Yeah, that's going to work. I'm going to tap this because, Enchanted Land also has tap, add 2 mana of any one color. So I'm actually going to tap this forest for 2 swamps. Then tap the mountain and the Bonder's Ornament. Which one do I want? We're going to go with Ghost Shintai of Hidden Cruelty. So, a whole bunch of triggers happen. First trigger is I'm going to get another 4/4 angel. Boom. Next trigger, a non-token shrine entered the battlefield, which means I get another shrine. So that denotes we have 2. And then at the beginning of my end step, you may pay 1. When you do, destroy target creature with toughness X or less, where X is the number of shrines you control. Currently 4. I do not have any open mana, but on my next turn, if I leave 1 open, I can destroy a creature that's got with toughness, rather, 4 or less. That's not bad. I could blow up that. I could blow up that. I could blow up that. I mean, getting rid of commander damage and the Mazerik that does stuff, that thing. I mean, there's a lot of good targets. And we've got a lot of good blockers right now, too. So we're going to go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Now let's see what we can do. Oh, well, yeah, clearly we're going to do this. I'm going to tap a green. Then tap that for 2, doesn't matter, blue, let's say. Any one color, yeah, so 2 blue, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hungering Hydra for 6. So, it enters with 6 +1/+1 counters on it. It can't be blocked by more than 1 creature, because it can only be blocked by 1. And whenever it is dealt damage, put that many +1/+1 counters on it. Now, thanks to my commander, because I played a X spell, I now also get another 6/6 Hydra. So it looks like Shrines is not the only one going crazy. That is all I can do right now, because they don't have haste and they don't have trample, so that is a problem. But we're past turn. Untap, upkeep, no upkeep triggers anymore. We're going to draw a card for turn. Sorry, just trying to read these things quickly and figure out what I want to do. I think that probably is a good idea. We're going to tap 1, 2, 3 to enchant Infectious Scary with this nice full art Endless Evil. What that means is enchant in creature you control. At the beginning of your upkeep, create a token that's a copy of enchanted creature, except the token is a 1/1. When enchanted creature dies, if that creature was a scary, return Endless Evil to its owner's hand, which it is, so if it gets blown up, this just goes back to my hand. I will then tap 2 to play Trailblazer Boots, which will be great for commander damage. And then finally, I will bounce this island back to my hand by playing this Dimir Aqueduct to get a little extra mana on the field. Oh man, I do not like these sleeves. They keep sticking and making it hard to try and flip through quickly. But all right. So, we have got ourselves a 2/2 creature that will start popping out more of itself. Now we can go ahead and swing, but the question is, do we want to, and where would we? Unfortunately, that's actually not a good... Now it does have Menace, so yes, over here. No, yes, all horrors you control have Menace. So we will, in fact, go to attack. Whenever it attacks, each opponent loses 2 life. Boom. Down to 34. 36. Where's the 36? And 36. You can't block it because you only have 1 available creature, so you then take another 2 down to 34. Excellent. Not a bad turn for the most part. And we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I don't believe we have any upkeep triggers over here. Drawing a card. Okay, we're gonna Field of Ruin, add colorless, but we can pay 2 and tap it and sacrifice Field of Ruin to destroy target non-basic land an opponent controls. Each player searches the library for a basic land card, puts it on the battlefield, then shuffles their library. It's a good sacrifice, but it also gives everybody else land, so not the best. And you know what? I don't have creatures, which I kind of want at this point. So we are first off going to tap a black and one other. I guess I should put this up here. And tap this to create a 1/1 rat. Right? Do that first. Then I'm going to actually go ahead and tap these two for colorless, because why not? And sacrifice Letter of Acceptance to draw a card. Now, trigger on the stack. I sacrifice something, everybody goes up by a counter. Then I draw. Okay, that could be useful in the future. I still have 3 mana, but yeah, you know what? Let's do that too, because I do have quite a bit in my graveyard thanks to the mill. I'm going to tap 2 for Return to Extinction. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Let's see what we've got. Do I have any good creatures? Anything that I would need? Ooh, that's a good one. Oh, well, of course. I don't think there's much question. Jared Golgari Lichlord, but let's just keep looking, just in case. That's also a good one, but that's also expensive. Well, you know what? There's actually quite a few decent ones in it, but I think that's your best bet. So now that just goes back to my hand, and that goes in the graveyard. So there's not much else I can do. Well, I don't like what's going on over there, although last time we did something, it left us open to get attacked because of the menace. So I would like to swing Mazerik over here for 4 damage, 4 commander damage. You know what? Little 2s aren't that big a deal. I'm going to do it. I'm going to swing it over here. That's going to jump that up to 7 commander. You're going to take another 4 over here, down to 33 life. And we'll pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. Oh, my goodness. Forgot Authority of the Consuls. So this little rat came in tapped, and I gained a life off of that. What about over here? I did not play anything there. I did, however, play two creatures can't enter the battlefield at least, but they do come in tapped. So that means I could have swung in this direction. So that did kind of change the lay of the land, so we have to be more aware of that. And when I say we, I of course mean me. Not you, because how would you let me know? Still, it didn't change things too drastically. I could have just swung over here. What's the difference? I swung over there. But at later stages in the game, that could make a very big difference, so I need to be aware of that. So I draw a card for turn, right? Because I did not. No, I did not. I'm going to play a swamp for turn. And now I think we're going to, of course, that's fine. I'm going to tap for blue, white, red, black, and green to search for something out of here. Now, I could play Sphere of Safety. I like that. But I think, even though it's a very small cost spell, I think I'm going to do it. I'm going to return Sithis Harvest's hand to the battlefield. Well, first of all, this has to tap, because, by activating it. When it's a 1/2 legendary enchantment creature, whenever you cast an enchantment, you gain 1 life and draw a card. So now, thanks to these two, well, this is a creature, but whatever, casting an enchantment gets me quite a few triggers and some cool stuff. So, I keep saying that. So, I just did it immediately again. If I want to, I need to leave this open. I could do 4 damage to something. At this point, I do, in fact, actually just want more creatures. So I'm going to tap for black, 2 more, and 3. So that's 4 total. To play another enchantment shrine. Hodin of Night's Reach. At the beginning of your upkeep, target opponent discards a card for each shrine you control. That's going to be huge. That's going to just basically shut somebody out of the game if we're not, if they're not already top decking. So I played a shrine, whole bunch of triggers. I am now going to get another shrine token. Then I'm going to get another angel. So we will say 2 there, and this one. And then I'm going to gain 1 life back up to full 40 and draw a card. Nice. It's a land, but it's a land I only have 1 of color-wise, which is really good. Although I still don't have any blue other than tapping Bonder's Ornament or the Enchanted Forest. So okay, I took care of those things. I now have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shrines for both of the shrine effects. Now I'm moving to my end step, although I can swing with these flyers. Do I want to do that? Now, crazy thing about Hydras, they don't have reach, which is ridiculous, but it's a thing. Even though there's 50,000 heads and they're like 5 stories tall, they somehow can't snatch a little bird that's flying past them. So okay, we are going to move to combat, and I'm just going to go slow. I'm going to swing 1/5/5 Flying Angel at you, which is still quite a hefty hit. So it's not, you know, oh, I'm just swinging a 5/5 at you. Because that was at 34 down to 29. But we're not swinging all of the angels at you just yet. I think that's good. I moved to my end step. I can't trigger that just yet, and we'll pass. Untap. Well, upkeep, draw. All right. Now I have some small cost spells that would be good, but at this point, I may want to start just doing as many pump spells as possible. So I think what we need to do, what is the biggest threat right now? What is really affecting us? I think Goshintai is going nuts over there. That's probably the target we're going to want to do. I will tap a swamp. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, because I did not pull up a land. Although, see, do we want to do that now, or do we want to set ourselves up for the future? I'm tempted to set ourselves up for the future. That could be a risky gambit and one that doesn't pay off. But 1, 2, 3, and that'd be 4. So I say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for Gilded Lotus. Add 3 mana of any one color and tap that for an Arcane Signet, having 1 floating that just goes away. But now we are ready to ramp up an additional, 4 mana into one of these ramp spells, or one of these X spells, to now make ourselves a 10/10 something, right? And I think long term, you know what? Let's do that though. I have the 1 floating off of Gilded Lotus, and I have this, so we're gonna tap 2 to equip Ballast Collar to Hungry Hydra. So it is now Lifelink and Death Touch. So we are absolutely gonna go swinging with the old quickness. So we move to combat. Now there is so much over here, unfortunately. Stack blocking with a couple angels is more than enough. But who's the threat then? Not really anybody other than right here. And we are going to make like a bigger Hydra. That's also a tactic. Now this is kind of thing where it would be, well, you know what? Mazerik's completely open, and the 6 is not going to, that would kill that, so they're not going to block. I was going to say, like, this is where politics comes in, and you could be like, hey, if I swing and you block with your little 3/3 and let it die, then I'll get 3 counters onto here, and I can swing a bigger attack at them next turn. Someone might go for that, but then they could totally blow that up beforehand with something you don't know. And actually, we do know, because right here, destroy target creature with X, or less, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We can totally blow that up. So we're going to go safe bet, 6 damage over to you, Mazerik. So 4 down to 30. So we are now at 28 life. And then we're going to gain 6. So that's going to be back up to 35. Pretty nice. And then we're going to pass turn. Hang on, let me open the door, get some airflow. All right, so we're untapping. Upkeep, we have an upkeep trigger. I should put this back. Beginning of upkeep, create a token copy. So this 1/1, but it is now another Infectious Horror. However, it does come in tapped, And you gain a, no. You gain a life. Nobody else, you did not create creatures. See, now that was nice, so you didn't give them the life gain. But we've got this poised for next turn at least, and then I draw a card. Here's my hand over here. Ah, this is a good one. Here we go. So we're going to tap for black, and then 1/2 to play Ravenous Chupacabra. Now it does come in tapped, and you do gain a life. But when Ravenous Chupacabra enters the battlefield, destroy target creature an opponent controls. I feel like... what do you think? What would you do in this situation? Where would you go? I mean, we've got some 6/6s over there. We've got Mazerik that can jump up if it forces some sacrifices. And then we've got some flyers, but we can just easily make them again. Blow up the Goshintai. Cool, but can just easily replay it, even with the buff, or with the commander attacks. And then that would just trigger these two, and you get more flyers and, you know, more card draw. But it would kind of slow you down a little bit. And at this point, no one's really come at you. I think this is what we go. I think we go over here and blow up that. Now, once again, unfortunately, you're open, and it's the best attack. So we're going to do this, go to attack. Everybody takes 2, not us, of course. But so that is down to 33, 26, and down to 40. Now, the problem is we've got some life gain going on, which is negating these little damages. Oh my gosh, I think we missed this last turn. See? I'm actually quite positive I missed this last turn. But move to end step, at my end step. Beginning of episode, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there. Oh no, I'm sorry. Oh, but you know what I did forget is the horror, you know, scary mill thing. So when a scary deals combat damage to a player, they mill that many cards. So you are milling 2. And then here's the scary, is that I get to get a creature from your graveyard. Well, wait a second. At the beginning, choose target artifact or creature card in an opponent's graveyard that was put there from the library this turn. So I only get something off of these top 2, which were not creatures. So that's okay. I mean, it's not okay, but that at least makes it a little better. You know, because that would have been broken if you just dive through people's graveyards on one little hit. But it did something. That's not bad. Did I play a land this turn? I don't believe I did. Because I drew the Chupacabra and immediately played that. So I'm going to play a land, and then what's nice is I'm going to go ahead and equip that Trailblazer Boots to the captain. What's happening, Captain? You got some seafaring boots. Now, obviously, he should have done that before combat, but he's still only a 3/6. Like 3 commander damage over time could build up, but it's fine. Misplay o'clock, maybe? I don't know. Your call. We're going to pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. All right. I'm going to play a Blighted Woodland because that bad boy can be sacrificed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And technically 8. You know what? Oh, it's 4. I was hoping it was one of the smaller 2 drops. Or 2 to sacrifice things. So, you know what? It's fine. We're going to go 2 black, 2 green. For Jared. Comes in tapped. You gain a life. But he says he gets +1/+1 for each creature card in your graveyard. That could be pretty nice. And then pay a green, a black, and 1. Sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to the sacrificed creature's power. Sacrifice a swamp and a forest. Return him from the graveyard to your hand. So he is a flinger. He just flings. So let's go ahead and look through the graveyard. And you know what? There's not a ton of new creatures. In fact, there are no new creatures from what we've done. Okay. So we're going to set these slightly to the side so we can kind of figure it out. But yeah, he gets +1/+1, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4. So he is technically a 6/6 right now. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 mana. Well, you know what? Why not, right? Because we still will get a basic. So go ahead, let's do it. Tapping 2 and sacrificing. Field of Ruin. The rat goes up by 1. You go up by 1. You go up by 1. And newly minted Jared goes up by 1. We then, each player, unfortunately, searches for a basic land card, puts it in the battlefield, shuffles. Go ahead and put that there. Now this is the problem. This is going to take a bit because I got to just run around and get basic lands and shuffle a bajillion times, but that's okay. We're going to try and just get whatever we find. Swamp. There you go. Boom. Found it first. Shuffle. Barely shuffle. Run, run, run. Actually, I just found well, with this particular situation, I do kind of have to look because I need a island. Just to give myself some more options instead of like always using the Bonder's Ornament for missing blue. And then one last one. Basic. Boom. And more mana over here is not a good thing. For everyone else, at least. But that's okay. You gotta try and do what your deck does, as it were. Now, we are flying. I'm going to do it. We're going to go ahead and send the 3/2, so that is a 5/5 flying Mazerik. Commander damage. Gotta go over here. Like I said a bunch of times before, you have to stick with commander damage. Unless absolutely necessary, it's foolish to spread it around. And that was a hard-learned lesson for myself, because I was always trying to be fair and not, target one person and be a jerk, but you kind of got to. So 5 damage over here is dropping this down to a total of 28. And 5 onto here is going up to 12. So that's getting up there. I still have 2 available for any kind of menace crap going on over there, and we're going to pass. Well, to stop one creature at least. Untap. Upkeep. Draw. Gonna play a mountain for turn. Now let's see what we've got going on. Do I have upkeep triggers, first of all? I do not have beginning of your end step, beginning of your upkeep. I do. Target opponent discards a card for each shrine you control. I have 3, 4, 5. Someone has to discard 5 creatures. Now, the question is, you blew it up, so guess what, Slappy? You get to discard 5 cards. 1, 2, 3, 4. You only have 4, so off they go. Sucks to be you. And let me go ahead and put that there to remind me I do have an upkeep trigger. I did draw a card already, though, so yes, we need to do that. What am I doing? I don't need one of everything. What am I doing? We will tap this for 2 green and 2 more. Well, and 2 more, to be honest. We'll just tap all of that. To replay Go Shintai. He enters, bunch of triggers. We're actually going to go ahead and add another shrine token. I'm going to gain a life and draw a card, so 42, and I draw. Okay. And I'm going to make another 4/4 Angel. So these ones can attack. This one has Summoning Sickness. That is untapped. This has Summoning Sickness. One of these do, but I'm not going to swing the 1/1s just yet. They're really, the 1/1 shrines are only meant to go forward if I have a ton of them. Otherwise they're there for the shrine triggers off of like just numbers, pure numbers. So I do have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 mana left. But I'm going to go ahead, and I think we need to start being aggressive now. We've probably Yeah, we're getting kind of close to being an hour, I'm pretty sure, so let's go ahead. Let's be aggressive. Be whatever. All of these flyers are going to go at whoever has the highest life total, besides myself. 33, 28, 26. Yeah, that kind of seems right with those giant old Hydras. So 4 times 3 is 12, plus an additional 5 is 17. You're taking 17 to the face. 10 of that will put us down to 23. Then 3 of that will put us at 20, and an additional 4 will put us at 16 health. That was a solid big hit. That's pretty much all we can do right now. We're going to go ahead and pass turn. As you can imagine, Hydras are now a little ticked off. So, all right, so what will we do now? That actually seems like a fun choice right now. We're going to tap 2 green, then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Nourishing Shoal for 10. I'm going to gain 10 life. Ha ha. Back up to 26. And then I'm going to make a 10-10 Hydra, which will come in tapped, unfortunately. And does not have trample, but you gain a life off of that. These are untapped. Well, not this one, but this is untapped. Now, what do we have? We have a 4-4. We have a little 1-2, which is not going to be used for blocking. We have a 3-4. I don't really want to get my commander destroyed. That one's also not bad, so... Yeah, you poke the Hydra, you get the heads, as it were. We're going to go ahead and swing both 6/6s this direction. This one does have lifelink. Now, what would we like to do? We currently have, what, 4, 5, 6, 7 shrines. So when we're triggering that one, we can get rid of Hungering Hydra. So, do we want to block at all? It's 12 damage. That's a lot, but we are at 43, so we can actually absorb that pretty well and leave him wide open. I think we go for the risk. I think we say, we know we're gaining life, so take it. Take the 12 damage down to 31, right? 40 goes to 30, then 30 goes to 1. Yeah. But they do gain 6 life, so that will jump us up to 32. So now, pretty much the entire damage we just flung is negated and unimportant. So that is discouraging from this perspective. However, now you are wide open for other attacks. Gonna go ahead and pass. Untap, upkeep, draw. I do have an upkeep trigger, which I forgot to put that thing back on. So we're making another little infectious horror, gaining a life over here. Unfortunately, it comes in tapped, and then we draw a card. The only card we have now, but we did draw a very good card. 1, 2, 3, 4. What will be the target? I think we have to go for the threat, which is going to be Go Shintai. So Capture Sphere. Pokeball, go. Capture Sphere enters the battlefield. Tap enchanted creature. It is tapped. Enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step. So it's still on the field. So it will still get the shrine triggers, which when other shrines come in, it can still make more shrines. But we can't tap it to get enchantments out of the graveyard, which is at least something. All right, so that is Summoning Sickness. These are not. They all have Menace. And this has non-basic Land Walk. So where do we want to swing that? 32, 26, 32. But you know what? Mazerik's been hitting us very hard, so yes, obviously. And since we have a flyer coming at us that's going to keep getting bigger, we need to kind of go on the offensive. So I believe we're going to swing all of this in that direction. Now that's 2 triggers of a infectious horror attacking. So all opponents are going to take 4 damage. Down to 28. Also down to 28. And down to 22. And that was before damage. Commander damage is going to go through because it has non-basic. Oh, we only have 1 non-basic. No, we have Rose Passage. I was going to say, oh man, if I had just cracked that earlier, but it's okay. 3 damage there, putting us at 19 health. Actually, I'll leave this over here just in case. We also have, these are, once again, are 2/2s, but they're menace. Well, this is a 1/1, as a matter of fact. We have, let's see, I swung with that came in. These 2 are untapped, so they will block the Chupacabra. Either one of them can destroy it, so it will die. And then 3 damage gets through, knocking this down to 16. So I don't know, have I made any mistakes so far this game? I'm sure I have. I probably missed some sort of trigger or miscalculated on what was a blockable creature or something, but let me know. So now this is up here, and that's what we have. Nothing, we were wide open though, because this came in tapped thanks to the authority of the consoles. I have nothing I can do with this 3 mana. Oop, actually. Now that's a misplay because I don't remember if I picked that up. But the point was, this was Dimir Sigwit, our Aqueduct, has 2. I didn't need 2 for the 3-drop I played. Over there. Pass turn. All right, untap. Upkeep, draw. That's definitely something we're going to want to do. We're going to tap a forest for Hardened Scales. If 1 or more encounters will be put on a creature you control, that many plus 1 more are placed on it instead. So to that end, let's go ahead and crack a Laxacon. 1, 2, 3, 4, sacrificing Blighted Woodlands. I'm going to get 2 basic land cards, whichever 2 I find first. Oh my gosh, there's one. There's one. Go on the battlefield, tap, shuffle library. Quick, quick, quick. All right, excellent. Sack trigger, so these go up by 1. And then what do I have left for, well, no, they go up by 2. What was I thinking? I just played that card. They get an additional for whenever they go up. Do I have anything I can play for 3? Regrettably, I do not. However, yeah, why not, right? We're going to tap 3, a black, a green, and 1 other, to sacrifice another creature. Each opponent loses life equal to that sacrificed creature's power. Goodbye, little rat that's now a 5/5. Everybody takes 5 damage, down to 23. Again, 23. And again, 23. How crazy is that? But, sacrifice trigger. This goes up by 2, by 2, and by gum by 2. And they all are able to attack. So now, it's time to start swinging away. We've got 9, 10, right there, 17, 18, 19, and 5. Yeah, gotta do it, right? We'll be wide open, and we are at 16, but we've also got how many flyers over here that can come swinging in that are 4/4s or 5/5s. Might as well not be last, right? All damage headed towards the new scary deck, which isn't being so scary. Blam! Kabash! Dead. First casualty of the night. But that's all we got past turn. So poor Mazerik's going to be the second casualty of the night. That cannot untap. These untap. We have an upkeep trigger, clearly, huh? See, that's why I put something on the deck. It always helps. Target shrine, opponent. Oh, so we're just going to say you have to discard for each shrine. 4, 5, 6. That's still on the field for 7. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5. We only have... Sorry, Charlie. Get rid of your hand. Now I draw a card. It is a mountain. Now we're going to go ahead and try and screw over Mazerik even more. Well, actually, but we're going to try and screw over Hydras even more. I'm going to tap this Enchanted Forest for 2 blue, and then we will tap 2 reds to play Dreamtides. Creatures do not untap during their controller's untap phase. Each non-green creature's controller may pay an additional 2 during their upkeep to untap that creature. So basically it's blue, the color blue's green hate card, but it also slows down everybody. So, triggers. I gain another angel. I gain a life, 26, draw a card. Not super helpful, but not horrible. Actually, it's just kind of whatever. Then nothing there. And then that's a end trigger, so we just need to leave 1 mana open for that. I will go ahead and tap 1, 2, 3, Bonder's Ornament, and 2 others to play Indatha Crystal. It's just a mana rock that taps for white, black, or green. It's not super useful right now, but might as well play it. As I said, like that can be the 1 open mana for that. Okay. We are going to move to combat. I have 4 4/4s, that's 16 plus a 5, so that is 21 flying damage. Actually, yeah. We're going to send obviously the 16 damage at you and the 5 over at you. No open mana, no flyers because we tapped. Yep. Except blah, 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 dead. And 5 damage over here, down to 18. Now we're going to pass turn, or at our end step rather, I'm going to tap 1 to deal 4, 5, 6, 7 damage to destroy target creature with toughness 7 or less. Guess what? 7 or less. Bink, bink, we'll get rid of your life gain, even though it wasn't going to untap anyway. Boom, that's dead. Although you do have a 10/10, but courtesy of Dreamtides, you can't really untap it. Right, so let me just read real quick. What's it say? Yes, see, these are green Hydra creature tokens. This specifically says you can't a non-green creature. And this, so all of them do not untap. So you go to your upkeep, untap, upkeep, can't pay for them, draw, it's a land, I play it, because I have nothing in cards. There's really no point in bothering. Gonna go ahead and concede. Yeah, you're gonna crack me for, well, this will be there, so that'll be, that's 20 damage right there, plus 5, and you can swing away with everything. Absolutely. Concede from Hydras. The winner of your first matchup between these 4 decks is Shrines. Like I said, Shrines is one of my favorite decks that I've built, especially it's a newer deck for me. But it never does this when I play with real people. Anyway, the scary deck wasn't so scary, but it had potential. I mean, we milled, what, 20, 40, 60 cards in the first, 3 turns. Maybe 4 turns, whatever. But it was super early in the game to be milling. It just happened to help the Shrine deck, and will continue to help the Shrine deck, going forward with the next couple matchups. We're going to have to be aware of that. And we just didn't draw any more of the scaries, and they are a lot of high-cost creatures to begin with. So this one is going to take a lot of time to tweak, and it's going to need better creatures and better mana ramp or mana rock ramp, basically, because green or black and blue don't ramp as well. Unless maybe they do. Do you happen to know? Leave a comment and tell me, oh no, Brian, there is this great blue spell that ramps almost like Cultivate, or the black spell that ramps almost like Kodama's Reach or whatever. And let me know, because I would absolutely love to put them in this deck. As for Hydras, it has to be ramp. You have to ramp faster than that. I'm playing these two. I still think it was a good move. It's just that it got locked down by that Authority of the Consoles and everything else that was happening. But again, this one has potential. I like the design of it and what the concept is, to just play every giant X spell I have and make giant Hydras. But I definitely need to get more trample in there somehow, like board state trample. You know, like, I don't know, any of the green cards that give all your creatures trample. I could also, if I were to get another Crater Hoof, that'd be a good deck for it, obviously. And then there's Mazerik. You can see where she was going, right? Especially with Jared, because I believe at least one of the times Mazerik won was because of Jared. Because I was able to get everyone else to sacrifice a bunch of stuff, and I was sacrificing a bunch. I did have, and then I was using Jared to fling creatures straight at people for like 11 damage and 12 damage. The one downfall that you've probably noticed is I don't have a lot of creatures out. You need to get a lot of creatures out in order to fully gain the benefit of Mazerik. So maybe that means tweaking this to be a little bit more token generation, and then, because there are sack outlets in the deck, I don't know. It's something I got to work on, and hopefully the next couple of matchups with this will help show me the way. If you're out there watching, I really appreciate it. I hope you had some fun. I hope you learned something. I hope you maybe discovered a new type of deck to build, and if you saw my mistakes, you know not to make those same mistakes going forward. You guys have a good day, and I'll see you next time.